about institutions in more than 127 countries. So when we segregate is total size of Islamic finance, because when we talk about Islamic finance, one of the component of Islamic finance is Islamic banking, which is about 80% of total Islamic finance industry. The second major component is Sukuk and Islamic capital market, which is about 9% of total Islamic finance industry. And then Takaful belong around about 2% of total Islamic finance industry. And when we talk about Islamic indices, Ijara companies or Mudarba company, they are about 4%. And unfortunately, the share of Islamic microfinance in Islamic finance is less than 1%. So we can say that 99% of Islamic finance industry is dealing with the rich people. Only 1% of Islamic finance industry is addressing the need of the poor people, which is basically a big question mark for Islamic finance industry. Even I wrote one article, the title of that article is a big question mark of Islamic finance industry, and I like it that when we say that Islam is a deen, Islam is a religion of equality, then why we do not have an equal share of Islamic finance for the poor people? So we should also think that how we help out the poor for the poverty alleviation and social development through Islamic microfinance. According to the international report, including World Bank and UNDP, that about 40% of the world poverty reside in Muslim world. 40%. While our total population of the Muslim population in the world is about 22%. So we are almost double in the size of the poverty in the world. So one of the major reasons of that poverty is that we do not have such financial or microfinance product which is according to the Muslim belief. And poor people, most of the country, they do not take the loan on interest-based mechanism and remain financially excluded. And if we want to include them into the financial inclusion, then Islamic microfinance is necessary. Recently, United Nations Development Program also included Islamic finance in their poverty alleviation strategy to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal. Because in 2001, when United Nations launched Millennium Development Goal, according to that goal, that till 2016 they will remove half of the world poverty, but they didn't achieve. In the United Nations document, they mentioned that we achieved that goal majorly in non-Muslim countries. And in Muslim country, in the first 25 countries who achieved Millennium Development Goal for poverty alleviation, they didn't find any Muslim country. Then they mentioned that if we want to remove the poverty from the Muslim world, then we have to include Islamic finance into our poverty alleviation agenda so that Muslim people may come into the financial inclusion. When they will come into the financial inclusion, then their poverty issue can be addressed. So when United Nations launched Sustainable Development Goal, then they included Islamic finance for poverty reduction strategy. So right now, you people know that United Nations, IMF, World Bank, USAID, DFID, GIZ, IFAD, and many other multilateral organizations, they have Islamic microfinance component for their poverty alleviation strategies. I had a lot of meeting with one of the organizations here in Tanzania, FSDT, Financial Sector Deepening Trust. Because Financial Sector Deepening Trust of Tanzania, they launched one report 3 years back, that was the Financial Survey of Tanzania. In their published report, when I see that report, whatever was the Muslim majority area of Tanzania, they were financially exploited in their map, in their book. And then I arranged a meeting with them. They had a office in Cliff nearby the sea. I went there. I said, why the Muslim majority area of Tanzania is financially excluded? Why they have a huge poverty in those areas? You have to investigate. And they come up with a similar point that in Tanzania, the Muslim majority area is the financially excluded. They are not utilizing conventional financial product. This is the document which is available in your country right now. And that is the survey which is done by more than 10,000 individuals and the corporates, and that is the countrywide survey. So, Islamic microfinance is necessary for the poverty elimination in the Muslim world. And by the way, in Islam, if we compare Islam with other religions, you have to come to know that Islam is the only religion where poverty alleviation is the religious obligation for the Muslim, not a social obligation. In non-Muslim, they are working for the poverty alleviation for the religious obligation. Sorry, social obligation. But for Islam, that is our religious obligation. We have to pay zakat. Zakat is not my social obligation. That is my religious obligation. We have to pay sadaqah, khairat. That is our religious obligation. Even to give the loan to the people, that is again a religious obligation. When Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam went for the Miraj al-Mubarak, he mentioned that at the door of Jannah, I read that the benefit of loan is much better than to give the sadaqah and khairat. So to giving the loan to the people, that is also a religious obligation. But unfortunately, the religion where poverty alleviation is the religious obligation, we are at a high risk of the poverty. So we have to investigate that what are the issues and how we can utilize the concept of Islamic finance by having Islamic microfinance. The concept of takaful by having the concept of micro takaful. The concept of sakuk by having the concept of micro sakuk. How we utilize all those concepts for the poverty alleviation and the social development. And we have to think the religion or the society where at the time of Hazrat Umar Radhiyallahu anhu, nobody was finding out to take the zakat. The people in the street, they were announcing that is anybody who want to take the zakat? Nobody they find to give the zakat to others. Why? We are at the helm of poverty right now. We have to investigate. So Islamic microfinance means to utilize Islamic banking instrument, Islamic banking product at the micro level for the affordable price. And another thing, I was in Tanzania, I met with a very senior official of Islamic banking. A very senior official, I do not want to quote the name. I said, what is the price if I want to take land user from your Islamic bank? He said, we will take 14% Murabia price. I said, if a poor want to take Bajaji from you, how much? 33%. I said, for rich person, your Murabia rate is 14%. For the poor person, your rate is 33%. What is this? A poor should be at 14%, rich should be 33% because rich can afford 33%. So no, poor have a high risk for financing, etc., etc. So we cannot give to the poor on the 14%. So that is another very, very strange approach of the Islamic banking to give the loan to the poor 30%, 33%.
Yes.
And for the rich, that corporate client, 14%. My God. So we have to think about it as well.
Serious, extremely serious.
Extremely serious. That why we have to rate the wage, very discounted price, poor, 30, more than 30%. So that is another thing which we need to rectify. By the way, that is a good news that Islamic banking product can be utilized with any microfinance model. In any country, if any microfinance bank wants to start Islamic banking, that is very easy to operate and launch the product. Islamic banking product or Islamic microfinance product are compatible with Grameen Bank credit lending model, with village banking credit lending model, with cooperative model, with SACCOS model, with credit union model, with self-help group model, and for commercial microfinance bank model as well. These are the different types of microfinance credit lending methodology. Some are called Grameen model, village banking model, cooperative, SACCOS, credit union, etc. So Islamic microfinance products are workable with any microfinance model. And another uniqueness of Islamic microfinance is that Islamic microfinance, or in Islam, we have a complete scientific approach of the poverty alleviation. For example, in conventional microfinance, they have only one product, interest-based product. They calculate the interest and make any product. But in Islamic microfinance, we have a different component for different level of the poverty. We cannot say he or she is the poor. Yes, he and she is the poor, but that person would be in a specific category of the poverty. When we understand that specific category, then we can utilize the ideal product, that which product will be the ideal for them. For example, for the extreme poverty, we can categorize the poverty: extreme poor, chronic poor, transit non-poor, then non-poor. These are the different levels of poverty. For example, a person who has the extreme poor, in conventional microfinance, they have only one product, interest-based product. But in Islam, for the extreme or chronic poor, we have grant-based product, like zakat, sadaqah, and khairat. So you can increase the economic level of that person from that extreme poverty to next poverty level. In the extreme poverty level, a poor person who do not have a feet or proper cloth with them, shoes in the feet and proper cloth with them, what kind of microfinance you can do? Those people cannot in the category for the microfinancing. In conventional microfinance, they have only interest-based product, but in Islam we have the grant-based product like zakat, sadaqah, khairat. When you pick that poor from that poverty to next poverty, give them to qarz-e hasan or murabia. Pick up the next level, when you give him the zakat for 3 months, he can use that, how to use that money, how to do some micro-entrepreneurship and etc. Then give them the qarz-e hasan or murabia. Then when that person would be in the non-transit poor level, then give them salam and istisna. When that person is out of the poverty level, give them the micro-takaful. To sustain their life, rest of their life, out of the poverty line, that if there is an issue with his life, any uncertainty, the kafir company have to facilitate him. That person not again dip into the poverty. So this is the scientific approach of Islam, that how to address the poverty issues. So thank you very much. This is time about to leave now. It is a great pleasure to communicate with you for the 3 days, and we will be in touch with you. As I mentioned earlier in the conference, if you need any literature, any further guidelines, structure, we are always available for you on complimentary basis. If you in the future need any training, any product development, any of our digital learning program, we have our digital learning program on Islamic banking, on takaful, on SACCOS, Islamic microfinance for halal industry, and our programs are also available in Russian, English and French languages. So we will always be available for such sort of services. I would like to thank my brother Dr. Karamio, brother Jamil from Katila, brother Isa, and foremost our brother who recorded all of our activities, and my brother Nabi to help out us in this training. And Sister Iman also delivered a lecture yesterday. Thank you very much. So thank you very much. I wish you a safe return to home, and we will communicate with you again as well. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. Your certificates are with Mr. Nabi. Please collect your certificate as well. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Okay, we have to go somewhere. I think it would be a small question.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A question to Sifka. Do you have a program to cooperate with the Islam microfinance in Tanzania to watching them on how they work properly according to Sharia for now?
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I thought that's your husband.
So you have a question with your husband?
I have no husband, and also I'm a Sifka. I'm lost. You just told me a few minutes ago that. Yeah, that's true. Yes, she's right. Sifka is the name signifies Center for Islamic Finance, Compliance and Advisory. We do the advisory work, the training work to the local people in collaboration with Al Huda, that's our partner. And for the microfinances, yes, we are helping. Although some of them are stubborn, see. They feel like you are interfering them and trying to direct them, and they try to run things by themselves. And one of them has almost collapsed, and now they're still coming up. But just yesterday, there was a Sharia Supervisory Board of Sifka. We sat down discussing about one microfinance. And right now, you heard Brother Salum Awad was talking about the index from the Sukuk. So yesterday also, the day before yesterday, the Sharia Advisory Board of Sifka sat down to discuss and screen those instruments of Sukuk. So we do, inshallah, we do. And we tell them to encourage them to come and seek us. But you know, advice and an advice can be taken and can be rejected. So we can't force them. We do not have a legal ground to force them and command them to do anything. But alhamdulillah, we do them, inshallah.
I want to say something.
Yes.
All video will be in YouTube. All video will be in YouTube. If you enter this key in YouTube, GSH Targets is my online TV.
Inshallah.
You'll get all video in YouTube. Till now we have 2 videos. Till now we have 2 videos. All videos are free of charge.
Specifically, we have the statements made by the finance minister, the chairman, as well as Brother Ugal. So all the key opening speech has already been loaded for your ease of access.
How about the discussions?
The discussions? Yes. No, that's what the language has been used. The 2 have already been uploaded, meaning all will be uploaded.
So all the discussions have
All, except nothing.
discussion. Except the tea on the tea table discussion, they are not.
All the discussions, all the presentations have been recorded live.
Except nothing.
Like when I tell
Like for
you
example, when you missed yesterday's discussions, for you missed cryptocurrency,
yes.
the beginning of it.
No, yes, it was yesterday.
You missed. We had a lot of cryptocurrency.
Very interesting.
We didn't want to tell you in the morning to kill your mood, but that started yesterday, and today we were just eating the tail.
We were landing.
It was just the tail.
I told him now, is that your wife? That's recorded.
If you told him just now, yes, it is recorded.
Then it should be edited. Then we need to look at the video so that personal things are edited.
You get all
Okay. But
through this channel.
no, I'm saying we will look at it. better to edit personal stuff. Like that was a joke.
Okay.
The team table discussion, no. But there are other discussion.
If you open it, I give it to you.
Even for those have flashes, I can give them all videos before editing.
I will talk to you about that, okay? No problem. Thank you.